Good morning. Good morning. Ah, this is the Journey to a Winning Anyway Life, and I am your host, Life Pastor Carl, for all things winning. All things winning. Coffee this morning. My mouth is acting crazy. Good morning. Good morning. I want to welcome you to the journey. It's going to be It's going to be an amazing experience, not just for this morning, but for your whole life. So I want to welcome you to the Journey to Winning Anyway Life. This is Life Pastor Kyle, and we're pushing you to another level of your life winning. I want to talk about your keys to winning this morning. So as you come in, please say something. Let me know that you're on. If you're coming in getting this post live on later, then you can say what you have to say then, and I'll respond to it as if it's then. Hello, Tawanda Lee, Tawanda T. Lottie, Andrea Thomas, how you doing? Good to see you. Hope all is well. How's everything this morning, Sister Lottie? Y'all come on in. It's going to be an amazing day. It's Friday, and it's almost Super Celebration. Hello, Maria Matthews. Good to see you. Hope everybody is well. Y'all come on in. I'm overjoyed and excited about this lesson. It won't be long, though. I'm going to give you some keys to winning. There's some very good keys to get you to a quick point. Hello, Emery Shelvin. Hope all is well with you and your wife. Let her know we're praying for her and hope all is well. Hope she's feeling better. And so, we're over on YouTube until I have another 20 days now. As usual, Facebook does some strange things. But all is well. All is well, and all is well. So listen, I want you to prepare yourselves. I'm not going to be long. It's been 2 minutes already. People know where we are, and they know how to find where we are. And so I want to be able to streamline your time. Thank you, Maria, for sharing. I appreciate you for sharing. It's just a good opportunity to bless somebody. And so let's go to the share. I want to get a chance to do something on this lesson. Hello. She said, trying to get to this YouTube. Hello, Nita Holloway. Yeah, it's on YouTube now. And you can literally go to my page and just tap the box where the link I posted already, and it'll always pop up. Let's talk about these keys to a winning anyway life. Listen, everybody's trying to get here, I'm sure. It's only 4 of you on here. It's okay. We're going to make it work, and we're going to make sure that people are blessed anyway. Listen, whenever there's a time you deal with keys to your life, you have to make sure you deal with access. Sometimes access in life is very difficult because people don't understand what to do or how to do with access they've been given. Sometimes you've been given access, or you've been giving access to people who don't understand the power of them having access. They don't understand. Oh, I hear something. They don't understand the plan. Hello, Deja Young. They don't understand the plan. Hello, First Lady. The plan of having access. Okay, I'll stop because everybody's coming in. Okay, I see Deja Young. I see First Lady. I see Geraldine Wiley Shelvin. Listen, they don't understand the plan of having access. They don't understand the process of having access. And they don't understand the privilege of having access. Hello, Manny Saeed. And so you have to understand that whenever you start helping people in life, that it's a privilege for them and for you when you know what you're doing. I don't want to keep y'all. Listen, whenever there are keys have access. They give you access to things. But in order to make the keys, there have to be ridges that unlock what's inside the lock. And they have to match. I won't keep y'all long, but I will be strong. They have to match. And so a lot of people have keys, but they don't understand or respect or appreciate the access that they've been given. And so it's funny because when you've been given access, it's supposed to always be a privilege and never be a level of entitlement. When you've been given access, it's a level of a privilege and not another P. So there's a plan of access. There is a purpose for access. There is privilege for access. And you should always keep those things. And then there is a purpose for people having access. You should always keep those things in mind because those things will let you know exactly what it is that people are giving you. And so sometimes people don't understand the power they've been given or don't appreciate it. So you have to slowly remove keys. What do you mean by remove keys? It means as you move forward, you can't give everybody keys. You give people keys based on the purpose that they have in your life. I'm going somewhere, man. Here we go. And then here's the problem that we have. Whenever there are keys to a winning anyway life, you have to realize there are things that you're going to process. There are things that you're going to deal with, and there are things that you're going to become into another level of understanding. Good morning, Mr. Ricks. Another level of understanding. But whenever you want to decide to deal with the keys to winning, then you have to deal with all the ridges that make the key, and then deal with the lock itself, and make sure that they match. Some of y'all say things like, I'm gonna match your energy, which means if you act like you like me, then I'm gonna be cool with it. But if you act like you don't like me, I'm not gonna keep pushing up on you if your energy is bad. That's what they say. Some old folk, you say that's a bad spirit. Good morning, Tisa Collier. They would say that's a bad spirit. And so we would laugh about it. But now we understand that keys have to have the same access. They have to match the lock. And so whenever you deal with keys to winning anyway life, you have to push up and go forward in a certain measure. You have to be able to have your key done and then put your key in, and it has to match. Y'all got it? Let's move. No people on here now. Let me read you scripture right quick. Proverbs chapter 27, verse 2 says this. Here's how you find out. Let me digress a little. Here's how you find out where you are in the level of access and keys in your life. When you talk about winning, here's where you have to deal with the level of access in your life and attitudes in your life. I'm matching all these words this morning. Oh my God, it's going to be amazing. And so listen, the Bible says this. Proverbs chapter 27, verse 2 says, let another man praise thee, and not thine own mouth, a stranger, and not thine own lips. Why would you read that scripture? Because whenever there's time to deal with keys, you have to understand that it's better when you deal with the keys of your own life, that you know what keys and what power that you have, not just based on what God has said or based on what you feel or based on what you're dealing with, but sometimes you got to deal with based on what somebody else says. I'm coming, Maria. I'm coming. In our life, if you're going to deal with keys to winning, I want to give you, if I was preaching a sermon, I will give you the subject. Now it's time to turn the key. Because a lot of people have access, but they don't turn the key. It's time to turn the key, which means I have to adjust my attitude. Have to adjust my attitude accordingly, because if I don't adjust my attitude accordingly, then I can't have access. So in order to adjust your whole life, you have to adjust your attitude accordingly. You got it, Andrea Thomas? Okay. You have to adjust your attitude accordingly. And so we have to decide in life if we're going to master our attitude or become victims of it. Yeah. We have to decide, we have attitude. Yeah, that's it, Maria. It's time to turn the key. Why are we turning the key? Because oftentimes we put the key in, but we never turn it, which means we don't really make the change we need to make. We don't take advantage of the attitudes that are around us. I'm coming to explain what that means. So you have to decide, am I going to master how I project my attitude, or am I going to be a victim of my attitude? Will I forever be complaining about what someone did to me or what did not go my way and things that did not go my way? Will I forever be talking about what did not happen instead of adjusting my attitude to what is happening? And so the way I do it is, I told you earlier, I gave you scripture for it. You need to be honest and ask someone else. Stop thinking you can tell people who you are and what you are without showing them what you are and who you are. Because you can tell them what you are and who you are, but if that's not what you're projecting, then you need to have some course correction in your life. You need to ask someone, what kind of attitude, or how do I project when I'm mad? How do I project when I'm offended? What can I do to improve my attitude? If you don't adjust that now, someone is going to adjust it later. And later always costs you more than it costs you now. I'm going to give y'all the keys in just a minute. See, I've heard so many people say this. If I've not corrected you, and if I've corrected you 3 or 4 times, then hey, Keith Young, you need to realize that you are a slow learner and decide I need to hone in on when I'm being corrected by this man of God, because he's correcting me because I have something that's projecting the wrong way, and I can trust it. He's not after my money. He's not after my house or my car. He's always trying to get something to me. And if I don't understand that, then I will have the wrong attitude. And here's the saying we normally have. Pastor, coach, I don't have an attitude. This is what mature people will ask. Tell me what did I project and how did I project it? What did I say? So if multiple people say, you have this stanky attitude, and somebody else say, you have a stanky attitude, then we tend to judge them by, no, I just didn't go to the school you went to, or I just don't do what you do. No, that's not true. If they're telling you and you're not listening, then you're what I call a slow learner, which means you learn on the back end, which means it's going to cost you more, which means I can't invest in you because you're going to lose my investment because you want to adjust your attitude based on what you're projecting, which means you're not really growing and you're not developing. It's quiet. You're not developing. So you have to do that. You have to ask them, what did I project and how? You're welcome, Minister Tamala Riggs. What did I project and how? Because here's the real reality of it is, we all have an attitude. The question is, what kind of attitude do you have? And then on the other side of what kind of attitude do you have, the question is, what kind of attitude are you projecting? You say you have a certain attitude, but the question is, what kind of attitude are you projecting? You say you're good, but if everybody else says you look like you're angry and you're mad, then you need to fix your countenance, as the Bible says. Because your face is telling a real truth that your mouth is not relaying. So somewhere between your face, your heart, and your mouth, there's a lie. And if you're lying to yourself, you'll never have pure truth for anybody. Hey, Tamisha Figaro, you'll always adjust your truth based on what you think other people want to hear and what you think they desire to hear. And so you'll adjust your keys. Let's move. The reason why I'm talking about dealing with the keys to winning and dealing with the keys to your life and dealing with your attitude right now, because your attitude is the prophet of your future. Your attitude tells everybody how far you're going to go. It tells them when you're about to wreck. It tells them when you're messing up. Your attitude will tell them. If you have an argument in the car, on the phone, and walk into a building at work, and you've not adjusted your attitude, people will know that something else just happened because you wear how you feel. Okay, let's go a little further. Your attitude can bless you or it can wreck you. Now, it's dangerous because the reality of it is it really can. It can bless you or it can wreck you. You can have a wonderful attitude that people say, I really enjoy this person when they're around. Hey, Naya, I really enjoy this person. I'm leery of people who enjoy me sporadically. Either it's because of something that I do or don't do or something that they're not developed in doing. Because I'm a teacher. I'm always teaching. I'm always pushing. I'm always progressing. And so if people don't enjoy my company, I'll ask why sometime. And then sometime I already know why. They're not progressing. They're not willing to be pushed. They're not a go-getter. People say, I am a go-getter. No, not always. Hey, Urban 411 Entertainment. I see you there. Listen. And so your attitude is the prophet of your future. And so your attitude can bless you or it can wreck you. Let me go back to my Allstate insurance company real quick. When you have a wreck in the car, the first thing you look for in your insurance is what's called your PIP. It's called your personal injury protection. That means you have a wreck, the other insurance company pays you, I think it used to be $2,500 immediately. They pay you, they pay that out to make sure you're good and then move on, hoping you'll take that and move on and be as a kind gesture of good faith that they're going to pay for everything when they're really not. But in the coaching or spiritual realm, let's talk about this PIP. This is where you have to deal with your attitude. You deal with your attitude, and here's the PIP. Your problems, your issues, and people. You will be judged on how you deal with problems, how you deal with issues, and how you deal with people. Can I go back and add something to those? I hear something in my head. You'll be paid by how you deal with problems. Got it? That's your job. How you deal with problems. How you deal with issues. That's personal, because remember, out of the heart flow the issues of life. So you're going to be judged by how you deal with problems that you're given. You're going to be judged by how you deal with the issues of your own life. And then you're going to be judged with how you deal with people, your relationships. That's where your attitude is going to be judged, in your PIP. Problems, issues, people. How you handle those things determine if you're really prepared to win and move to the next level. How you deal with those determines that. You can't run away from problems. You can't mismanage and lie about issues, and you can't mishandle people. I had a talk with someone yesterday that was very intimate conversation. Intimate because we both had to get into it. It wasn't about sex or anything. It was an intimate conversation. And the conversation was talking about how forgiveness is for the other person. It's major, y'all. And the reality of it is sometimes it depends on who the other person is. Sometimes the forgiveness is needed by the other person that you've offended, but they need to know that you're offended. A person that walks around offended and won't tell you that they're offended, but will tell other people or will act in offense with you and not tell you is a witch. Why would you say it like that? I'm straightforward right now till my birthday. I'm straight up. Is a witch. That's a person that wants to hold something over you and they're not willing to forgive you or release you because they're afraid that if they release you, you're going to be better and do better. And their thing is they are expecting something negative for you because of how you made them feel, but they never told you. That's very witchy. Yeah. That's very witchy. That's someone who wants you to feel what you made them feel. They're waiting on someone to mistreat you or mishandle you. That's someone waiting on somebody to take your keys because they didn't handle communication well. And then that expectation turns, especially if it goes long term, it turns into them expecting negative things for you and bad things for you and them not letting you go because they figure if they let you go, look like God's going to bless you anyway because they see the blessings of the Lord on your life. But because they see it, they're still expecting something negative. How you know? Because they're having negative conversations and think God doesn't know. Check your Bible. The Bible talks about people who have negative conversations. It gives you a recipe for what will happen in their life. Their attitude prophesies to them. And so you have to deal with those things accordingly. When you want to get things right, the person said, it really blessed me to forgive them. I said, but here's the deal. Depend on who it is and how it made them feel. It will bless them. Now, I'm not a fan of multiple apologies every time you have a negative situation or you insecure or you're immature that you come and say, I feel it again, and you want me to address it again. Now, in marriage or relationships, you might have to address things multiple times in a different way. But I don't believe in holding somebody on a leash because of something you found out about them, knowing that God knows all about you. And then the bad part is that's somebody who knows something about you. You just don't know that they know it. And if you don't grace people, God will shift that thing and turn around where your life will be in his hands. And that could not be a good situation. Been there before, done that. Let's move on. Y'all not ready. Listen, here we go. If you decide that you're going to adjust things, without making me go long, I don't want to. How you handle those things, how you handle your PIP, your problems, your issues, and people, how you handle your problem on the job you've been given or task you've been given, how you handle issues of your own life, and then how you handle people. You got to be careful because sometimes you're entertaining an angel unaware, and an angel will not have a white suit and wings. An angel may come as something or somebody that is in your life or around your life, that is in your life for a particular purpose or reason that you may not be able to deal with. And so God will send somebody in your life and they will come in the manner in which they are, not the manner in which you want them to be. And you have to be honest about letting people be who they are. So you put them in the right place. Don't try to put people in the place you want them to be, because sometimes they don't have the capacity of faith to be in that space. I see you, Cause Divine. I see you. They don't have the capacity of faith to maintain that space long term. They can do it for a week, a month, or two, maybe a year, but they can't handle it for a lifetime. They have to shift and move. And you have to move them accordingly based on their attitude. So how you handle those things determine if you're really ready to win. Okay? I'm going. And then what happens is, once you get your attitude straight, listen very carefully. This is a hot nugget. I'm trying to help everybody, because I'm gonna probably lay into some forgiveness posts today, because you got to get your slate clean before you sow your seed on Sunday. You want to make sure you got a clear view that you don't delay your seed or cancel your seed before the return. So listen, how you handle those things determine if you're really prepared to win. If you're really prepared to win. See, listen. I've been doing Winning Anyway Life almost 10 years now. I didn't know. Some notes I found yesterday were in 2011, 2012, 2013. To find out now it's 2024. It's been 10 years. Even though I didn't name it, I've always talked about winning. I would run the risk of saying, if people know that people on this lives change, people that get this information and use it, their finance go to a different level, their relationship go to a different level, even their questions go to a different level, and their answers go to a different level. But people that don't take the time to even wake up early enough to just turn the phone on, put an earphone in while they're getting dressed, they can't tell me that there are people that really want to win. Because there are some people who just want the keys. They just want access. They're not willing to change their attitude to maintain the managerial access. I go further. In our church, there is what's called a master key. We have one key that opens every door. Nobody has that key but me. Before, we all had that key. I gave everybody in church, because I was excited. I gave everybody keys to everything. Everybody had master keys. They had one key that would open this door, that door, front door, side door, office. Every door was the same, well, except for the office. Every door was the same. Then I realized that everybody can't handle all access. I won't even go there, Geraldine. Everybody can't handle having all access to you. Now, I would love to brand some people in an area of having all access. Not that they're not trusted. They're very trusted. They're just not developed. When people get all access for long periods of time, they start to feel entitled instead of feeling like they need to develop. People think, I've been here this long, I've done this so long. Then it starts to become average. And when you move from average, people that are average can't connect with people who are average. And so what happens is you start shifting your life to a level of all access. I've tried it. I've done so many strange things. I've opened up my life to people and things, wrong, right, and good, bad, and ugly, and given people all access. And you'll find out later that people don't appreciate gifts. People would rather take and feel entitled to taking what they want than to have you remind them of gifts. Remind them that it's a privilege. Because most people want to be a privilege, but don't appreciate being privileged. Did I say that right? I'll be nice. So when you change your mind to win, I gotta go. I'm gonna keep y'all a long time. I gotta shift out of this. So when you change your mindset to having all access keys to winning in your whole life, every area of your life, then I see you, Maria. Then what kicks in, watch this, y'all. Here's the key to winning, is when you get your attitude so perfect that the law of attraction comes in. I'm a stickler for conversation and relationships. When people talk to me, I'm like this. Let me tell you who I value. I'll give y'all access right here. Tell you who I value. I'm going to pause this music all the way. This is who I value. This is who I value. I value people who, if you call me about something and we talk about it, and I tell you a truth and you don't remember or don't know what it is, you can't call me back and sugarcoat around what I said. You have to say, I really appreciate you. You were correct in that manner. You have to correct that immediately, because if you don't correct that, I stop trusting you. Because the whole goal is some people can't stand not being right. So they will deem you wrong and then come back and say you're right without saying you're right. That is when you lose access, because you really can't be trusted. Why you say that? Because when a person wants to make you feel as if you're right without saying you're right, there's a level of pride that's been embedded. There's been a level of pride. How you know? Because pride never wants to admit that somebody else is right. It does not always mean that you're wrong. It just means that you weren't right in this situation. And you have to be careful, because those kind of things are dangerous. Because when people will never admit that you're right, I apologize. I've said, hey, you know what? I was wrong right there. I want to apologize. You were right there. When people don't do that, I'm a grown man. So you can't coddle me. You can't say, hey, yeah, you were kind of, no. If you can't say it, then I realize I put the pacifier back in your mouth. I put you back in the sandbox, and I go on to the penthouse, because that's your attitude. And the reason why I say that's major, because I'm an introducer for people. You ready? I'm an introducer. I introduce people to things. And I know I blow up some of y'all inboxes sometime in y'all DMs, but here's the reason why. I'm trying to give you keys. I sent someone the other day talking about buying a house. I sent them a 48 or either $85 million house. Because the more you see that type of house, the more the type of house you want is reachable quicker. I took my mother to a house that we wanted, and she said, oh my God, this is beautiful. I said, this house I want to get. She goes, oh, that's too much house. She kept saying that. That's too much house. Why you need all of this? And then I took her again to see another house that was a little bit bigger. And she go, oh, that's just too much. By the third house, she was saying, this is nice. It calmed her, because she had been in it so long that day. We went house to house to house to go to the smallest, bigger, and the biggest, the one we really want. And so she said, oh my God. And so when you start seeing things, how big things are, knowing how big your God is, then you'll know God can give you keys to whatever it is you want. But you have to develop. Your life's development and your attitude determines the niches on the key, or notches on the key. And the keys have to match the lock for the door to open. Did y'all get that? I'm going quick. Okay, it's 19:27. I gotta go. I'm gonna go. So whenever you get into a place, here's the point I want to get you to. Been waiting to get you here for a minute. Whenever you get into the real place of honing in your whole life and your attitude and just adjusting, take a deep breath, adjusting and bite the bullet and do what it is you have to do, pull the trigger, then the law of attraction starts to come into your life, where everything you say, you start to see. That's where I am right now. I'm kind of watching this thing. Everything I say, I'm starting to see. You start to attract what it is you want to see. You start to attract. There's a member of our church that wanted a certain type of truck, but it costs a good grip of money. Every time it comes to my inbox, I send it to him. Explain what, Manny? Tell me. She said, explain, please. Explain what, Manny? Help me out. I surely will. Hurry. She said, explain this part. Give me what to explain, Manny. So the law of attraction, you start seeing, it's like you're saying, oh, I love this Jaguar. And all of a sudden you start seeing Jaguars at every light. You start seeing it at every light. Your mouth will produce a level of awareness. We call it the law of attraction. Your mouth produces awareness when you say you want it. So I try to introduce people to everything they say they want. So here's where I back up and I drop off the scene. Here's where I let you put the notches in your own key. When you tell me what you want, the way I'm designed prophetically, I start to develop a brand for you. Y'all, Geraldine, how y'all got me out here? Y'all got me way out here, Geraldine. I start to develop a life brand for you. So then things around your brand, I begin to send you and show you. Now, it may not be where you are, but it's where you can be. I see it based on potential. But because you don't see it, you want to now reject me, not talk, not call, not say anything, because I'm more of a pusher. She said, I'm explaining it now. That's how, see, man, that's what God does. I'm explaining it now. Then the law of attraction allows to get to you. I start sending you things based on what you say you want, based on what you say you desire, based on what you say you need. And then you let me know that you are not developed because you back off from the push. And I'm not going to push you when you're pushing against me. So waste of energy, waste of my time. I just can't do it. It's too much. Can I go? Can I go further? If I can go, just type the word go. I know y'all are behind me. Keep going. Okay, Geraldine. Geraldine said, you good. Keep going. How y'all got me out here, though? But this is the thing. When you start talking about it, it starts coming in different shapes, form, and fashions. We have social media now, so there's no way you can miss it. If you mention it to your phone once, your phone will start to give it to you so you can be aware of it and adjust to it. I told y'all we got our first apartment. We intentionally got an apartment that was like $1,500 a month. This was like 30 years ago. So, don't act like y'all, there ain't no money. 30 years ago, you was spending $350 a month in Southwest or $500 a month on the North. Don't do that. You wouldn't spend that kind of money. We spending $1,500 a month. And I did that to develop myself. So when the house note came, and the first house note on this house was the taxes. We paid like $1,100 a month. And I was like, we already paid that. I conditioned myself to make sure I was prepared for what I had been saying that I want all this time. So the law of attraction, when you start seeing everything that you talk about. But sometimes you can't really value what you say you want until you've lost everything. And when you've lost everything and then God brings you back through faith, then you realize I'm now in a place where I can trust God for the keys to win. I can trust God for the keys this time. And then some people, you got to be careful. Winning is just a subject. It's a topic and a hashtag. It's not their life. And you want to be around people that winning is their life. Life. It's their life. I said earlier, I create a brand for you. In my head, when you tell me something, Mr. Ricks, I go with what you say. I may hear something or think something else. I'm going to be silent because I let you talk. Why don't you correct some people when they're wrong? I hear some of you on here. Why don't you tell me if you think I'm going the wrong direction? Because the last 4 times I told you, you intentionally went the opposite direction. And now you're reaping the repercussions or the results of what it is you did. So I don't feel comfortable investing again, number one. Number two, the more I say it and you do the opposite, it turns into disobedience depending on who you're asking. Are you asking coach or are you asking pastor? Most of you don't want the coach to talk to you. You want the prophet to give you an answer, to give you a quick all access key to something you say you want. So when the prophet speaks and you don't obey, you don't believe that the prophet is the mouthpiece of God. So when God speaks and you don't obey, then God said you can't trust that vessel again. It's not only cracked, it's broken, and sometimes damage to the core. It has to be rebuilt, remolded. And so I create a brand for people when they, based on their attitude. There's a difference in creating a brand and becoming the brand. Minister Ricks is one. Minister Ricks is one. Tisa Collier creates, creates art. Another person who creates brands, help with brands. Who else? Quite a few people help with. Geraldine is a styling brander. You got it? So there's a difference in creating a brand and becoming a brand. Are y'all there? Let me fix my phone right. Yeah, it's a difference in creating a brand and becoming a brand. Because listen, a creative can create your logo, they can create your background, they can create your hats and your t-shirt, but they never become your brand. They only created the brand that you gave them. It's almost like AI. People say, I don't like AI. AI is only going to give you what you give it. And sometimes if you give it more detail, it will give you more output. It's based on what you input. Same thing, creating a life brand is never about the person that creates the brand. It's about the person that becomes the brand. They can create your logo, your backdrop, your cards, all that stuff. But you can't get your brand until you're willing to pay for it. Am I right, Tisa Collier? You can't get your brand until you're willing to pay. They can create your brand, but you can't get it until you're willing to pay. The brand is for the person who has sacrificed for it and willing to keep sacrificing for it. Okay. I bought our church website a long time ago, and it cost some good money, but now it's no good. So now I got to continue to brand, and we had to change it. So as we changed it, I'm now looking at my own website. I have to now change it. You have to continue to sacrifice. If you're not willing to continue to sacrifice, then that is not your brand. It's just a name you want people to recognize that you're not willing to sacrifice for. As people who want keys, but don't want to lock the door. Why you need keys? If you're not going to use the access going in, watch this, blessed in going in, blessed when you're coming out. Y'all don't get it. Y'all don't get it. Listen, your life is a brand. Okay. God gives us all a life. He gives us all a life, and our life is a brand. And what we do with it is our choice, because your life is your brand. Let me get through. So to become a person that wins anyway and use the access, the keys you've been given, you have to be willing to fail. Now, hear me well. Hear me well. Urban 411 Entertainment, listen, you have to be willing to fail. I didn't say running from failure. Willing to fail means I'm going to try it until I get it right. You have to be willing to fail while trying to win. But if you don't give up, see, that she is right there. She's back. There she is. She said, yes, sir. I got it right. You got to pay for it. You have to be, I'm just stuck on those keys have to match. Yeah, they have to match. I got to go, y'all. Okay, listen. Going means I'm not leaving my house. I don't want to be online that long. You have to be willing to fail. Now, here's the deal. You have to be willing to fail. Watch this, Andrea Thomas, while knowing this. You have to know a few things while you're going through the process of failure on the way to win. Number one, these are the notches in your keys you have to know. You have to have a positive attitude about life. Nobody wants to be around somebody who only calls them when they're having hell. You don't call to see how a person's doing. You don't call to check on them. You know, some of y'all have levels, though. I understand. Y'all are deep. Y'all have levels. You FaceTime for one thing. You call for something else. You text for something else. And y'all think that's communication because you dulled and dwindled your life down to social media. You don't understand that communication will never be dwindled down in any manner. But understand, you have to have a certain attitude, a positive attitude about life. And it's not how you treat other people. It's also how you treat your life. How you treat your life tells me where you are in the level of maturity. Number two, you have to know this, that the level of your keys and notches in your winning, you have to know it's where you spend your consistent time and who you spend your consistent time with. That's where you build your life traits from. If you spend your times around people who you relate to, then you already reached the pinnacle of your life in that area. You have to get around people who are beyond you, who think different than you, who push you, who will make you do something different, who will tell you, pull the trigger now. And you're like, I'm afraid. I don't care if you're afraid. Do it right now. And then when you do it, you have to be grateful, not thankful. Grateful. Thankful is thank you. I guess you were right. That's that pride thing. That's that ego thing that says, I don't want to give anybody credit. No, you got to say, you know what? I really appreciate you because you helped me do this. This is how I got where I am in life. I don't mind giving kudos. I am a stickler for killing people around me. Dang it, I said it again. Who don't want to give kudos. Killing the spirit of it, rather. Because their thing is they don't want to give it, but they're waiting to receive it. So since you won't give it, they surround themselves with everybody who you're around to see if they'll give it. So if you don't, they say, see, you ain't give it, but I got it. That's children's play. Here's the next thing you got to have. The books that you read. The books that you read, they're important. The books that you read, you have to set yourself up for the books that you read. The books that you read will give you information that nobody else can give you from a different standpoint. Number 4, your perception about life, not your attitude. Your attitude is how you respond. Your perception is how you think about life. These are things that put notches in your key to give you access. Your perception about life. If you don't have a forgiving perception, then you will never get a key from me. Because what I know about you will always be in the front of my head as you want to judge everybody else for what you know about them. Quiet. Okay, I'll go forward. I'll move forward. All right. So, and then here's number five. Number five, what put notch in your key to prepare you for keys for access, all access, or more access? Who your mentor is and who you're accountable to. Here's the problem. Most of y'all have two different people. Most of you guys, your mentor is where you glean from. It's not who you are submitted to. And your accountability is who agrees with you, not your mentor. You make them two different people, so you get to have your way anytime you get ready. When in reality, that means you're still underdeveloped. It's like a child who knows the mother and father don't get along. So the child knows who to go to for what. And if the parents don't know, it makes them dumb as a box of rocks, because that means the child has learned the attitude of each individual. So the child knows, if I want to do something concerning school, I go to this person. If I want to do something concerning my friends, I go to this person. If I want to do something concerning life, I go to this person. If I want to do something concerning, me and something I'm growing up, I do something this. They know who to go to get the right answer from. And because that person knows that the parents have a wedge, they use it. And it's super sad, because the mentor and the person they're accountable to is two different people. See, you thought it was a kid. I'm talking about some adults too. Number six. Here's another notch in your key. It's your dedication to the process. I put /execution because if you ask me for information, majority of the time, because you don't trust the real whole me, is cool. My issue is this. When you ask me for information, I've thought about it in ways you never can, and you don't have the power to do so, because it's my gift. I see and I visualize. Sight is how you see it. Sight is what you see. Vision is how you see it. And most of you can see what you see, you just don't see how you see it. Is why you end up doing things in circles. And my question goes, why you don't have a coach walking you out of the circle? The reason why people go in circles, they have nobody to lead them. It also means one of your sides is imbalanced. It's shorter than another one. You don't believe me? Lean like this and walk around. You'll walk in circles because one side is shorter. Get in your car and turn to the left. It turns your tires. It'll keep turning. When you go in circles, it's because you're not balanced and you can't balance yourself. And the more you refuse to have somebody lead you, or a coach that can see you, visualize you, say, straighten that up. If they don't, you're going to keep going in circles. You'll waste money. You'll waste time. You'll waste friends. You'll waste life. You'll waste years. And then you'll wake up and realize, I'm not where I want to be. And then you want to blame everybody you're around. No. Your keys are your keys. That's why you need somebody that you're accountable to, and that's a mentor that says do it. And you got to trust them enough, watch this, Maria, to just do it. And then the benefits come. There are things that happen. It didn't happen fast as I wanted it to. Doesn't matter. The benefits come, because what does happen is that you get a chance to understand that I'm processing myself and learning something in the process. I got to go. 42 minutes, I'm going to finish. All right. Then number 7 is your self-confidence. You need confidence to insert the key. You need confidence to insert the key. And now we're where I've been wanting to get y'all for the longest. I'm going to be done. You need confidence. We say, hey, here's the key to it here. I hate these shows or anything where somebody says, this is the key to your house. And the person spends time screaming and hollering saying, my house, oh my God, this is mine. I'm saying, shut up and insert the key. Here's your new key to your new car. Oh my God, this is my car. No, this is my keys. No, all their deficiencies are speaking. No, you kidding me. These my car, these my keys. I can't believe it. No, don't lie to me. They're crying, they're getting emotional. And nobody said, hey, put the key in the car. Insert the key. Can't get so excited that you don't put the key in the car. But then here are the things you need to turn the key, Geraldine. And I'm done. Number 1, you got to tap into your faith. I'm going to move fast. You see, most people put the key in the car and get in the car and sit there and look at it. Somebody say, crank it up. It's funny how you have to tell people what to do in life and they get mad because you're telling them what to do. Well, you shouldn't get mad. You should follow the instructions and get happy that somebody know what to do when you don't know what to do. So you now need self-confidence to insert the key. Here's what you need next to turn the key. Tap into your faith. I'm going fast. Tap into your faith. Apply principle and have patience. Tap into your faith. Apply principle and have patience. Tap into your faith. Apply your principle and have patience. It's like a seed. You plant it, you water it, and you wait. Number 2, don't look at people, look at God. Stop comparing yourself to people and compare yourself to what God has said. You'll know how far off you are by the correction that God makes our sins. Don't look at people, look at God. Y'all got it? Number 3, don't cancel your best blessing by not following instructions from God or from somebody God sends. You ask God, you pray and ask God for an answer. You get on the phone with the prophet, you tell him what you prayed for, and then God tells you, I tell you, do da 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 da. And you say, no, I don't want to do that. And then when it don't work, you looking like the nut you are. I've learned that people who don't value wisdom are bound to look like fools. And I have to smile at them all the same. Hey, that's just the choices they're making. Yeah, don't cancel your blessing by not following instructions. This is where pride gets dangerous because most people want to be the one giving the instructions. But if you don't have the wisdom or experience, then you can't give anything except yourself the opportunity to learn a lesson so you will have experience and have wisdom. I got to go. Next thing is, don't try to fix things. No, this is my personal favorite. Now it is. Don't try to fix things or people that require replacement. There are some people that you cannot fix. There are some things that you cannot fix. They can only be replaced. How do you know? Because they will remove themselves. And we had a tendency years ago of going to get people who God removed. Don't try and fix things or people that require replacement. Some things are not supposed to work because they don't have the key. The key, okay, can I hit you in the head? Key is an anointing. Anointing gives you access. If you don't have a key, now I want to preach. If you don't have a key and anointing to have access, then I don't need to give you another key. No, you don't have the anointing to prosper in that area. So I'm not going to keep fixing it. I'm going to just let you move. Here's my last two. It is. Remember where you sow your seeds in life so you can trace the roots. Many of you have sown your heads off, but you have not traced the roots. You don't have I try to help people. You don't have a journal of how much you sowed every year. How much did I sow this year? How much did I sow in May? How much did I sow in October? You don't have a journal of how much you sowed. The only journal you have what you gave throughout the year. You can use that. You can use your giving record at the church. It is so strange. We had to close out the giving record, and I'll say this real nice. We had to close out the giving record from the old website, and it was so funny. I saw people that scream and shout and holler and run that hadn't tithed at all. And I said, I wonder what they were running about or where they're running to or from. You need to be able to trace your seeds that you've sown. Trace the roots. I need to know how much I've given this year so I personally can do better next year. I had a member did that and showed me they're already better than what they gave the whole year last year because God doubled them and tripled them. And when God doubles you and triples your salary and your giving doesn't go up, that proves that you're not using all the access keys that you have. And so I'm here to help you. I'm not going to say that, Maria. I'm not. Your increase is supposed to increase the kingdom. When you have increase and you don't increase the kingdom, then God no longer fixes you. He just replaces you. If you don't praise him, the rocks will cry out. That's Bible. God no longer fixes you when you decide, I'm now going to steal from you. I'm not going to take what you give me, and I'm not going to increase the kingdom. Just because you get does not mean that the kingdom has got until you release that seed. If you don't release that seed, then what ends up happening is you revoke your PIP claim. And now you're no longer a part of the system that's been blessing you. So God doesn't fix things that require replacement. He lets you make the choice. Isn't he a loving God? He loves you enough for that. And so as I say this very kindly. No matter what happens in your life, know this, you can't win anyway. You got keys to access everything in your life you need. Bite the bullet, take your pride down, kill your ego, get rid of your jealousy, get rid of your strife, and say, okay, God, today I want all access keys in my life. I want to name stuff and start seeing it. I want to pray about it and start experiencing it. And when I start experiencing it, I can't be picky about who God lets me experience it through. It may not be my best friend. It may not be somebody I like, but it's got to be somebody's heart that I love. Because God's going to use whoever he want to use, not who you want him to use. And that's what's happening. Some of you have been giving your keys back. And so now you don't have access. And now you're frustrated because you gave the keys back. Because you didn't appreciate it when you had it. You felt entitled and not that it was a privilege. It's almost like prayer. God, I prayed, as if God should be happy that you prayed. Now, that's your demon talking. You got to feel like, okay, God, I thank you for the privilege of prayer. I thank you for the opportunity to tap into my faith and apply my principles. And I patiently wait on you. I will not look at people. I'll look at you, God. I'll keep my eyes on you. I'm not going to cancel my blessing this time by not following instructions. God, I'm not going to try and fix things or people that you've taken out of my life. I'll wait for the replacement. And I remember that now that I've sown my seed, I should expect a supernatural replacement to bless my whole life. I want all access keys. I'll close where I started. Years ago, I had keys to every building, every part of the church. And I realized that people couldn't handle having every key because they open any door and want to look in any door. I said, no. So now people had to have keys that were based on what they do. You know, finance key, media room key, children's room key, cleaning key, my office first key. Everybody have keys based on their anointed potential. But I'm telling God in this season for you, I want God to open up and give you all access keys, that he bless your life, your family, your money, your faith, your friends, that you walk in something that I'm going to teach about Sunday morning. I was going to do a short lesson because of giving. It's going to be a regular lesson kind of. Got to be there Sunday morning. It's going to be amazing to realize we have all access. All access to what? Access to money, access to motivation, access to manifestation. And then we got to make sure that we taking some time to think and to meditate. But then there's another M, and I'll give it to you on Sunday. Hey, this is Life Pastor Kyle. Letting you know, no matter what happens in your life, you can't win anyway if you decide to take the keys. God bless you. We'll see you soon. Peace.